What's going on, Patriots fans? Happy Wednesday evening. I feel like 5 p.m. is kind of evening time at that point. Welcome in. We're going to be talking about several topics here today on the live show. We go live every single week on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. That way you guys can ask me questions. We can talk back and forth in the live chat and really just kind of hone in on today's rumors surrounding the Patriots, mainly around what's going to happen with free agency, what's going on with Mel Kiper's big board, and so forth. As always, we will end the show with a live mailbag segment, so you guys are more than welcome to send in your questions using hashtag Patriots. But I figured I would start off with a very easy question to get this comment section rolling. Who is your favorite player in the draft? I did make this a live poll today, which was the top player in the 2025 draft: Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Mason Graham, or another player. And a lot of you guys right now, out of 50 votes, are saying that Abdul Carter is the top guy in the Patriots' future franchise. So go on ahead and let me know who is your favorite player in the draft. While we do have some people filtering in here, 60 people watching already, only 10 likes, which is a dagger to the heart. But Booga the First going to say that Travis Hunter is him, but Nolan Herron is going to kind of contradict with him right there and saying Hunter sucks is a little bit of a stretch. I'm going to be honest, Travis Hunter, a talent we have not seen in a very long time. So I don't think I'd go as far as he sucks. But Pat Productions in here saying Tetairoa McMillan is his favorite in the draft. Numbnuts is saying that he wants to go get Hunter. Babu Joe could agree with Tetairoa McMillan from Pat's Production. Nolan Herron actually already coming in here with a mailbag question. I appreciate that. Ryan Pinkham saying for the Pats, I want to go Abdul Carter. Daniel Perez, you got to earn my like. Okay, I got to earn your like. Sounds good. Looks like I have a little challenge here on today's show. Brandon saying Hunter would be the best fit. I do agree, but it depends on which side of the football he does decide to play in. What's up, Daniel Barry? Happy to have you in here. Welcome in every single Wednesday afternoon/evening. So I want to ask you guys this question as well. Who do you got in the Super Bowl? Unfortunately, the Patriots didn't even make the playoffs this year. So now we have one more game standing in between New England starting the 2025 NFL season. Who are you guys pulling for? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go for the Eagles. I do think a Pats three-peat would be very, very tough. I think it would probably be one of the best dynasties we could see here in our lifetime, as well as the New England Patriots and so forth. But I do think that the three-peat would be very, very cool. But I'm going to go with the Eagles. I like their energy better. I like their team connection better. I think this is the year they finally do it. Obviously, they lost to the Chiefs a couple years ago, so now is the time I think they get their revenge. Saquon Barkley, I think if he had the title quarterback, he would have been named MVP a long time ago. So Booga's actually going to agree with me here, saying he wants the Eagles. Angela saying Eagles. Pull up Chris, Ryan, Carlos, MP Sports Talk. I mean, a lot of you guys are just rooting. I think it's rooting against the Chiefs is kind of what we're going with. I wish I could have put a third option that was just like M for Meteoroid, because I think that's kind of the only option as Patriots fans that we can all agree on. Is we just hope both teams have fun. Abel going to say Eagles. Juco Maine back in the chat. Been a while, Juco Maine. Brody's saying if you're not a real Pats fan, then you're not going to root for the Eagles. It's a tough call, man. It's a tough call. I like a lot of players on both teams here, but I think overall I'm just going to go with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. I think Barkley really, really deserves it this year, so I'm going to go with that. So let me go ahead and ask you guys something that does relate a little bit more here to the New England Patriots. I'm going to leave you guys with this question. First, one-word reaction to Mike Pellegrino leaving the Patriots. As you guys know, Mike Pellegrino has been the quarterbacks coach for New England the last 5 seasons. And if there's one position we have had success at over the last 5 years, it's been the cornerback position. So one-word reaction to Pellegrino picking up his bags and heading out of town. While you guys are commenting that down below, let me go ahead and tell you guys real quick about one of our sponsors on the show, which is Game Time. Looking for tickets to any sporting event, concert, comedy show, or maybe even the theater? Game Time is the app for you. This is the lowest price guaranteed. You also have all-in pricing, no surprise fees at checkout, and you guys can also see the view from your seat in the app before you buy. Nice little 180 panoramic view to make sure you guys like your seats before you buy them. If you guys want to go on ahead and check out Game Time, Go on ahead and download the Game Time app. Use promo code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS. This will give you guys $20 off your first time buying tickets while terms apply. Again, download the Game Time app. Use promo code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first time buying tickets while terms do apply. Go on ahead, download the Game Time app today and use that promo code because what time is it? It is game time. But our other sponsor on today's show is Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. You guys are looking to test out your skills along with 10 million active players who use this app daily. Then go on ahead and download the Prize Picks app. When you get there, super easy. All you guys have to do is just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and that is how you guys can win up to 1,000 times your money. That's right, up to 1,000 times your money. It's probably the easiest part of my day, just picking more or less. So if you guys want to go on ahead and test out the Prize Picks app, download it, create an account, and use promo code CLNS. This will give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. And there's a big game coming up here in the next couple of weeks. So if you guys think Patrick Mahomes will throw one passing yard, you win. It's a free pick from Prize Picks. And I went on ahead and tallied it right there with a Goblin pick, which is an easier pick, but the payout isn't as much with Saquon Barkley to have one tutty in the big game. If you guys want to copy my Prize Picks, feel free to do so or make your own. Download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS for $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS for $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Producer Tex also put those links in the chat if you want to go on ahead and click those because Prize Picks run your game. All right, I'm seeing Jonathan here saying we should have kept Mike Pellegrino. He was a bright spot on defense for a long time now. And one cool thing about Mike, and that I do think it is kind of like a dime a dozen now in this industry, is that he is along with these guys for their accomplishments. He is with them for every step of the way, off the field, on the field. He wants to not only develop the player, but the person, and I do think that is something that is going to be very hard to replicate in our next quarterback coach. You hope so. You hope that every coach comes in here and they care about the players the way that Pellegrino did, but my number one thing on Mike leaving is I hope this wasn't Vrabel. I hope this wasn't a dispute with Vrabel. Either he pushed him out, or he didn't re-sign him, or he didn't keep him around, and he wants another cornerbacks coach, because I think that's a doom for the first-year head coach in New England. I think this is a guy you definitely should have kept around. If Pellegrino wanted to leave, that's Pellegrino. But, after 5 seasons, I'm pretty surprised he would walk away. James is in here. Michael Eliot Wolf will be here to start the season. Yes. Carlos, should the Patriots get Garrett Wilson? I'll tell you what, Carlos, if you want to use hashtag Patriots in that question, I would love to talk more about that on the mailbag. Nolan Heron coming in with a question as well. And Shelly is saying that we should draft Abdul Carter, if he's there, at pick number 4 for the upcoming 2025 NFL draft. See a couple other people in here saying that their one-word reaction to Mike Pellegrino leaving is damn, sad. Michael said, has Vrabel made any of the hires himself? Yes, he has been involved with the recent hires of the coaching personnel. He has been very involved in it. Anthony saying hit the like button. Let me else see. Chris saying Carter is an offensive record. James saying Travis is my favorite for that first pick in the Patriots' first round. Well, let's go on ahead and get some more questions in here for our mailbag. Go on ahead, use hashtag Patriots or Super Chat with hashtag Patriots on the Super Chat. Basically, the difference is if you Super Chat, we will automatically answer your question on the mailbag. If you just send in the question in the comment section, Texter here is filtering out through the questions, so we may not be able to get to yours because it is kind of a time segment. So if you really, really, really want your question answered, Super Chat using it, hashtag Patriots, or just comment down below. Brody, if you want to use hashtag Patriots and rewrite that question, would love to talk about that on our mailbag. Same thing with Alex Jacob. All you guys have to do is just put a hashtag Patriots in your question in the comment section. That way our system can filter out which questions will be used for the mailbags and which ones won't. Nolan Heron getting in a good question here. Let's see if we can get, let's see what comes first. Either 5 good questions on our mailbag or 50 likes on our stream. Whichever one comes first is when we will start our first segment, which is discussing the NFL draft. We're going to break down Mel Kiper's ESPN big board, and we're going to talk about some of his top prospects in the NFL draft and really where the Patriots should try and hone in on. Smith fam in here, Alex, Jacob, Little Nugs, Brody. Good question there, Brody, using hashtag Patriots. Does Patriot work or it has to be Patriots? Let me see if Patriot works. Maybe it'll be all right. It's got to be hashtag Patriots. So close there, Brody. Keep trying. Just in case you guys did want a little bit of an agenda here coming up on today's show. Like I said, it's a 3-segment live show, so we are going to talk first about Mel Kiper's big board, and we're going to break down who he thinks are the top 10 best players at the position of needs for the New England Patriots. And then we're going to keep talking about other stuff, more about free agency and y'all's question in our mailbag segment as well. Carlos, great question. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Pull-up-ish with a really good question. Just be sure to use hashtag Patriots with an S, not just Patriot. Max, great question. Would love to talk about that. The Love Dottie, great question. We'll talk about that as well. No, you're good. Yeah, now they're starting to pull. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Tex pushing all the buttons behind the scene. Look at that. We're also 14 likes away from 50 likes. If you guys want to go on ahead and keep hitting that like button for me. All right, got a couple of good questions in here. You guys are also more than welcome to keep sending in questions using hashtag Patriots throughout the show. Juco Maine, I do like that question a lot. Definitely want to talk about Xavier Restrepo on this show. Babu Joe in here as well. Chris Kiley getting in a good question here. Oh, I really like that question, Chris Kiley. I'm actually thinking about doing a segment on that later this week. Anthony Hernandez getting in a good question. Really like that. Edward Drake. Really like that. All right, so let's go ahead and break down what we're talking about on our live show. We are also 3 likes away from 50 likes, so go ahead and hit that like button, and we can start our first segment, which is breaking down Mel Kiper's big board. Our second segment here, we're going to talk about 5 free agent targets, but all of these free agent targets have somehow crossed paths with Mike Vrabel in their NFL career. So could they possibly want to come to New England and play for Mike Vrabel again? We'll talk about that in our second segment. As always, third segment will be a live mailbag. You ask the question, I answer. We talk about it in the live comment down below. All you guys have to do to get featured on that show is use hashtag Patriots in the comment section or super chat to make sure your question automatically gets answered. And then the last thing here is if you guys are ready to start segment number 1, go on ahead, hit that like button for me. We have 50 likes right now as we are about to start the first segment. So I do want to see how many likes we can gain while we are talking about Mel Kiper's big board. He's going to be breaking down his top 5, top 10 players at position of needs for the Patriots. And believe me and you, there are a lot of areas where the Patriots can get better. So once Texer is ready, we will get started with that first segment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also use hashtag Patriots in the comment section down below while we are going through our segments. We will still see them. We're just going to be focusing on the live show at hand. So, no, you're good. You are good. So please feel free to keep being interactive on the show, and that way we can hop out of our live segment and talk with you guys a little bit more about New England Patriots football. I have 115 people watching in here. 57 people have liked it already. So keep hitting that like button for me. keep hitting that sub button for me, and we're going to talk about some draft prospects because, believe it or not, January's done this week. We are inching closer and closer to the NFL draft day by day. As Smith Fam is coming in here with a good question, talking a little bit more about the Patriots offensive line, which I do think would be a really good target for us moving forward, possibly in April or in free agency. There are a lot of areas of need, though, and between the top 5 draft pick, the $130 million in cap space, and with new head coaches and a prime quarterback, I do think this would be a pretty good destination moving forward for the Patriots to be able to take one step further and get back to the NFL playoffs. So like I said, please feel free to comment, like, subscribe, put in the comment section your questions using hashtag Patriots while we are breaking down our first segment, which of course is Mel Kiper's Big Board. So if you guys want to go on ahead, get started, use hashtag Patriots. That way we can keeping up with you guys here on today's show. Because we like to do mailbags every single live show because there are new rumors coming out every single week. This is the beauty of having the Patriots offseason when there's so many things going on, is that there's always going to be questions to have. Anthony saying, what's good? Carlos in here asking a really good contending playoff question. Smith fam coming in here. All right, so let's go on ahead and jump into segment number 1, which is breaking down Mel Kiper's Big Board and how they can fit here for the New England Patriots this upcoming season. ESPN's Mel Kiper recently released his updated NFL Draft Big Board. So on today's show, I want to break down top 10 players per Mel Kiper for all of the area of needs the Patriots are looking at. Because believe me, it's on both sides of the football, several areas, even skills positions that they can really benefit from with a plethora of picks this upcoming draft. So we're going to break down who possibly could fit in that mold and maybe some sneaky picks that Mel Kiper thinks could be an asset to New England. Before we hop into that, guys, we are ever so slightly on top of the Jets report in our subscriber battle throughout the month of January. And guess what? January ends this weekend. So I'm going to need you guys to hammer it home. Go on ahead, hit that sub button for me because we have a new divisional rival at Chat Sports, and it is Patrick Seatman with the Jets report. I want to blow him out. I want to give him a warm welcome, but I also want to just run him out of the water. So go on ahead, hit that sub button for me if you guys haven't already. These are just Allie's top 5 areas of needs for the New England Patriots. There are several areas. We haven't even gotten to special teams or anything like that, but I think we can all agree a top target for Drake Maye, not to mention some protection for Drake Maye, specifically at his blind side with that left tackle position. You could also bolster the defense because you did trade away Matthew Judon, and Keon White didn't necessarily have the year that we were really hoping he would. You could possibly pick up an edge. A cornerback to pair with Christian Gonzalez would be chef's kiss if they could provide the same kind of energy and skill set that Gonzo does. I do believe Alex Austin could make a breakthrough as a player in the secondary this upcoming year, but what is it looking like in the NFL draft? And then as always, a defensive tackle, once again, really making sure that 3-4 front has a lot of good new faces, good new skill sets, and can provide the Patriots with what they need to bring us back to a top 10 defense. Well, Mel Kiper's overall top 3 picks here are going to be number 3, Mason Graham. Well, defensive tackle is in our list of needs for positions for the New England Patriots. I think Mason Graham is just an explosive player on the defensive side. Even though Michigan did not get to repeat as national champions, Mason Graham was definitely a bright spot for the Michigan's defense. But at number 2, I know you saw that Nittany Lions logo. We're talking about Mr. Abdul Carter. Mel Kiper has him ranked number 2 overall in the 2025 NFL draft targets. We're going to talk a little bit more about Abdul Carter later in the show. And as always, Travis Hunter will be your number 1 top prospect in this upcoming draft. He has not decided whether he is going to be playing wide receiver or he would be playing cornerback in the NFL. But these are all guys that the Patriots could absolutely land with the number 4 pick. But there is always that, little asset in the back of your mind. The Patriots could trade down. They could decide to give up their number 4 pick for more picks later in this draft or possibly a trade. So just because we had the number 4 pick overall doesn't mean New England is going to keep it. Do I think they should? Yes. If this was the first pick in the draft, we could have been having a different conversation. But overall, the 3 names I just showed you are 3 names to monitor moving forward. So before I hop into Mel Kiper's big board, what should the Patriots do with the number 4 pick? I'll give it to you guys. I think they should K for keep it, but if you think they should T for trade it, go on ahead, put it in the comment section down below. You guys are about to get hit with a YouTube ad break. Feel free, sit through it. Go on ahead, comment down below. This will be the pinned comment on today's show, and we'll be right back. Let's talk about the top wide receivers. I think this is one of the number 1 assets the New England Patriots need this upcoming year. And when you're looking at the big names here from Mel Kiper's big board, obviously number 1 and number 2 are where my eyes go to. Travis Hunter and Tetairoa McMillan. If you guys are new to this show, I have been a fan of Tetairoa McMillan this entire season. I know Travis Hunter is the Heisman winner. I know that Travis Hunter is an unbelievable talent at not just wide receiver, but that cornerback position. But something about that 6'5" Tetairoa McMillan really makes me believe that he could be Drake Maye's next target. But there are still numerous names to keep an eye out on. Savon Williams with TCU, Isaiah Bond. You go all the way down to Jalen Noel with Iowa State. So even though the Patriots do have the number 4 pick overall, they could possibly snag other receivers down the line on day 2 and on day 3. But if we're talking about that first pick in the NFL draft, I think Tetairoa McMillan would be unreal with an inconsistent and sometimes inaccurate Drake Maye, at least in his first rookie year. Now that he has Josh McDaniels back as his quarterback coach and his OC, I think it's going to be a different story. But there's a reason why I love Tetairoa McMillan, and that's because his stats just pop out on the page, right? Because when you look at this, don't you agree that these stats are pretty eye-popping? But hold on, Tex, wait a minute. This doesn't tell me which one is which. Who are these wide receivers? Number 1 and number 2. Obviously, they're top targets on their team because almost 100 receptions for either of them. But they do also have over 120 targets. Their averages, talk about yards after catch. Good Lord. The yards in a season, 1,200, 1,300. Hell, we couldn't even get a Patriots receiver over 700 this year. And then touchdowns, they are red zone threats. Which wide receiver do you think is better? Which one would you rather have for Drake Maye? Because these are the wide receivers you're comparing. Tetairoa McMillan is exactly up in skill set with Travis Hunter. He is easily a comparable wide receiver to Travis Hunter. So before you get blinded by the Heisman Trophy and blinded by Colorado's fame, do not rule out Tetairoa McMillan. He is right up there with Mel Kiper's number 1 overall wide receiver in the draft in Travis Hunter. So now that you have seen those stats without seeing their faces or seeing their school logos, you now know that these are 2 real deals in the passing game. Which wide receiver would you want for New England? Travis Hunter, type TH. Tetairoa McMillan, type TM. Let me know who you'd rather see in the blue and red next season. And I'm going to break down more Mel Kiper's big board in just a moment, but I do want to tell you guys about our sponsor, Game Time. If you are looking to snag some tickets to any event that requires a ticket upon entry, Game Time is the app for you. This is the only app that I have on my phone when it comes to buying tickets. I recently went to a Dallas Stars game. I got 4 tickets for great seats at an NHL game, and it was all under $100. I also use one of my favorite features on Game Time, which is Game Time Picks, that filters out the fluff to make sure I'm getting the best seats with the best deals without having to spend all of my time searching through thousands and thousands of tickets. Like I said, I use Game Time Picks for the NHL Dallas Stars game, and I even got 10% off on the total ticket prices just because Game Time is always looking out, making sure I have the lowest price guaranteed. And all-in pricing. I know I'm going to get that exact total at my checkout, no surprise fees. So if you guys want to go on ahead, test out Game Time and see what events you guys can get tickets for yourself or maybe your friend. Or, hey, I know Valentine's Day is coming up. Guys, take it from me. Quality time, always a great gift. Go on ahead, download the Game Time app, use promo code ChatSports. This will get you $20 off your first time buying tickets while terms apply. Again, download the Game Time app. Use promo code CHATSPORTS for $20 off while terms apply. Download Game Time today because what time is it? It is game time. And I want to see Abdul Carter during game time this season for the Patriots. Top edge prospects, obviously Mr. Carter is number one. You cannot sleep, though, on Mr. Williams there at number 2 with Georgia. But I do want to throw an interesting name out there that the Patriots could possibly take with number 38, which would be pick 2 for the Patriots in round 2. And that's going to be Mike Green from Marshall. We do have a couple of Patriots beat reporters out there at the Senior Bowl right now, and Mike Green is annihilating at the Senior Bowl right now as we're making this video. He's a guy that if we do end up passing on Abdul Carter, which I don't highly recommend, but, I'm not Robert Kraft, Eliot Wolf, nor Mike Vrabel, that there is an opportunity to still get a very, very standout stud at edge with pick number 38 for New England in the second round. So if it's not Abdul Carter, do not throw a beer bottle at your screen. Just wait to the second round because Mike Green could surprise some people coming up here at the NFL Draft Combine. Let me go ahead and ask you guys this. Do you want more Patriots draft coverage? I think yes. Go ahead and hit that sub button for me. We are in a subscriber battle with the Jets Report right here at Chat Sports. Help us win. Help us beat Patrick Seatman. So go on ahead, hit that sub button for me while I break down top tackles for Mel Kiper's big board this upcoming draft. Obviously, the number 1 and 2 names are really going to draw a lot of eyes here because a lot of Patriots fans have asked me, Allie, do we want Banks? Do we want Campbell? And the only thing that is kind of a sticky situation with the draft is that I don't think Kelvin and Banks and Campbell would go number 4. I don't think they're going to go in the top 5. I think they could probably fall to number 8 through 10. So unless the Patriots end up trading down, then maybe we wouldn't be able to obtain them because there's better talent around them. But still, Josh Simmons, Josh Connerly. He is a good player from Oregon, Ohio State. There is still great talent out there if we do end up missing out on Banks and Campbell all the way over to NC State and LSU. But I do think that if Kelvin and Campbell do decide to go in the first round and the Patriots make some organizational front office move and trade down to possibly get more picks, then yes, we may see a Campbell or a Banks. And I do think those are 2 very good left tackle positions. But I am still on the side of I'd rather have a veteran presence blocking and protecting Drake Maye's left blind side than to have a rookie. But that's just me. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you want the Patriots to draft a tackle in the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft? Go on ahead, type me in the comment section down below if that is where you guys want the Patriots to go. If not, let me know which position you guys want them to snag first in round 1. As we break down the next cornerback prospects, like I said, you really want to focus on pairing somebody with Christian Gonzalez. You have an all-pro cornerback in your secondary. You want to accommodate his skill set with another great guy. And this is where I think Travis Hunter really, really comes into play for New England at pick number 4. If he doesn't go in the first 3 picks, if Travis Hunter ends up sticking with the cornerback side in the NFL, this would be a steal. Think of the secondary you could have with Travis Hunter and Christian Gonzalez for the Patriots this next upcoming season. However, there are still good talent later on in the draft. Number 5 through 10, I do think would be solid options for depth for New England, but maybe not to start along with Christian Gonzalez. But at some point in the 3-day period, I do think the Patriots do add a cornerback. I think they beef up that talent in the depth chart, try to build behind Alex Austin, who could possibly be cornerback 2, or they could still possibly fill out free agency as Mike Vrabel has worked with plenty of cornerbacks and Tetairoa Williams in his time in Tennessee. Maybe there could be a guy over there they could possibly trade for, but I do think at some point they do add at least one cornerback this draft. And a couple more prospects here from Mel Kiper's big board. Just some other notable prospects that will be available in the first round if the Patriots do decide to keep that 4th pick or maybe trade down. Jalen Walker from Georgia, Tyler Warren, a tight end from Penn State. I would rather keep Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper as our 2 tight ends. You'd picked up Jaheim Bell. You really haven't used him a lot this year, so I'd rather see Bell develop than go and pick up like a guy like Loveland or Warren, a new tight end to fit in with this system. But then you do have Malachi Starks, a safety, which the Patriots could use a little bit of youth in their safety room. And then Shamar Stewart, a defensive end for Texas A&M. These are all great guys. The Patriots do end up deciding to trade down and maybe look at later in the first round, possibly early in the second. So my final question for you guys is, who is your favorite player in the 2025 NFL Draft? We are about a month and some change, 2 months and some change away from the NFL Draft happening. So if you guys want to go ahead, comment that down below. And as always, go on ahead, hit that sub button for me. Help us beat Patrick Seatman and the Jets Report here at Chat Sports by hitting that sub button. And let's go on ahead and win this January sub battle against a divisional rival. Oh, all right, dude, I need to turn on this freaking fan. I'm sweating. All right, obviously a lot of you guys still putting out there Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, really liking the big names here for the Patriots. You guys are calling him Abdul the Wrecker. Abdul is going to be insane. I think that's got to be the Patriots' #1 pick, but it sucks because I really, really, really want Tetairoa McMillan. But there is always free agency, and you can still go out and get a sharp guy that's played in the NFL before. But, God, I really do like Tetairoa. A lot of you guys are also agreeing with me. Tetairoa McMillan, Callie saying Carter, James, Travis Hunter. Corey's in here saying Gordon. Met is saying I'd be okay with Carter or McMillan. Nolan Heron trade for Justin Tucker. Yo, okay. Shar's back in here saying Tetairoa McMillan. TD, you could go get Cooper Kupp and Stephon Diggs. Both will be in free agency. Yeah, but Cooper Kupp's old, and he's injury prone. I do think Cooper Kupp would be a good addition to the wide receiver room, but he can't be your only move. I don't think that he is good enough anymore to be your top wide receiver 1, hence why I think Puka Nacua has overshadowed him in LA. And then a guy like Stephon Diggs, I would be glad to have him in New England, but I could actually see the Texans probably re-signing him just to keep him paired up with Nico Collins, who had a phenomenal year before he got injured, and same with Stephon Diggs. He didn't even get to really experience his entire first year with the Texans because he was injured. So there are still plenty of great wide receivers, D-Hop, Chris Godwin, T. Higgins in the free agency market that I do think they should be able to go out and get or at least make an offer to. But like I said, Tetairoa McMillan, he's also been uncanny at the Senior Bowl right now. I mean, everybody's been saying that his skill set paired up with his size and his weight shouldn't be a thing, but it is. And that's going to be a guy that you just can't teach 6'5". You can't. And I think he would still be a really, really good target. But nonetheless, no, this is not a beer. This is a Liquid Death. This is my new favorite drink. We're not sponsored by them, but if they want to, please, because this is fantastic. Yes. Oh, good. I should just have a space after it. That's probably what it is. Okay. Amazing. Techs are doing all of the good work behind the scenes, pushing these buttons. So we are 21 likes away from 100. If we could hit that during this next segment, I would love that. Love you guys forever. Also, we're about to hop into our second segment talking about free agent targets that have played with Mike Vrabel. And then we're going to have our mailbag. As always, use hashtag Patriots with an S, in the comment section down below. This allows our system to pull your question into our live mailbag. We always do that as our last segment here. We go live every single Wednesday. So we're going to hop into segment number 2. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, super chat, or send in your questions for the mailbag. Look at that. We are 14 likes away. Do not disappoint me as we get into segment number 2. Mike Vrabel being the new big man in New England does mean that he could possibly bring some big names back to the Patriots uniform. Mike Vrabel has one thing that was different from Drake Maye. He has experience as a head coach. And because of that experience, he has worked with several players who are still currently in the NFL. We also picked up former offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels, even defensive coordinator Terrell Williams. Once again, network abilities in this league, something AVP, DeMarcus Covington, and Jerod Mayo could not provide us with. So, on today's show, I want to break down 5 names that are set to enter the free agent market this offseason that have all played in some shape or form for Mike Vrabel once before and may want to play for him yet again. Before I break into that, let me go on ahead and test out y'all's excitement level. Look, I'm expecting a winning season. I'm expecting a winning season, and I know you guys are too. This is the Patriot way. We have seen dynasties flourish in New England. If you're excited for the new dynasty to start in New England this upcoming year, go on ahead, hit that like button for me. If I see 1,200 likes in this video, I'll know that the Patriots Today fan base is ready to go. So let's go on ahead and hop into the first free agent target that has played for Mike Vrabel, and we're talking about DeAndre Hopkins. If you told me this last season that DeAndre Hopkins could possibly sign with the Patriots in free agency, I would be absolutely all on board. And I still am. Hopkins right now getting ready to play for the biggest stage in the National Football League, the Super Bowl, with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. So, over the last couple of years, D-Hop has provided 1,000-yard seasons. He's also provided great pass-catching abilities, nice yards after catches, and he knows how to be found and make himself be found in the end zone. So now that he's played for 2 teams this year, obviously with the Tennessee Titans and now with the Kansas City Chiefs, maybe his time is coming to an end with these programs and he wants to find his home for the next couple of years. Something to know here about DeAndre Hopkins that he played for Mike Vrabel last season, 2024-2023. That was the last year that Vrabel was a head coach in Tennessee. But the Titans made a pretty good deal with him to the Chiefs for a 5th-round conditional pick for the 2024 season, which obviously does have some perks now. They did make it back to the Super Bowl. And right now, PFF is ranking him as the top 20 free agent overall. Number 14 is where they will rank him. Not just in wide receivers. We're talking about all of the free agency. I do think that DeAndre Hopkins would be a great presence for Drake Maye. He is a veteran that has worked with one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now with Patrick Mahomes. Didn't really have his, shining moment with a quarterback in Tennessee, but still put up 1,000 yards last season when he played under Mike Vrabel, and I'm very intrigued to see what he could do again playing under Mike Vrabel, and also adding Josh McDaniels to that mix as a new play caller and OC. I think DeAndre Hopkins would bring a leadership, some veteran abilities to this very, very young wide receiver room, so I do think Mike Vrabel should maybe make a call. So, let me ask you your first question here. Do you want to sign DeAndre Hopkins, or am I just in la-la land here and thinking we can't get D-Hop or we don't want him? Go on ahead, let me know in the comment section down below. I know. There is always a little bit of diva with a guy like D-Hop, but you know what? It's the NFL. Who's not a diva? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Hopping into another free agent target here, and this position does get a little bit sticky, being the center position. Danielle Brunskill playing for the Tennessee Titans currently. A pretty good center, but we do also still need to see what Cole Strange can do at that position. He only had 1 game, and that was against the Buffalo Bills at the end of the season. And then David Andrews recently saying that he would like to come back and play again for the Patriots. We obviously knew that David Andrews was contemplating retiring after he did have his season-ending injury last year in Week 4. But getting a guy like Danielle, he's not the greatest center, all right? And I don't even think he'd be a starter for the Patriots. But don't get turned off just yet. The Patriots went through several different variations of an offensive line this year. If there's one thing New England needs in their offensive line, is a little extra depth. And that is what I think that Danielle could be for New England. Obviously, a little bit more the bottom of the barrel when it comes to PFF grades at that center position. But I do like how he has a pretty good pass blocking grade. So something to note here about a guy like Danielle is that his size up front is going to be able to provide a wall for Drake Maye. More than a Ben Brown could. 6'5", 300 pounds. It's going to be hard for guys to play against that all 4 quarters if he ever did have to step up in that starting role. And the number one thing that I loved about Danielle, 0 sacks allowed. 0 sacks allowed. And when you look at our offensive line here, you can always use a little extra depth. I mean, we don't even have enough guys to fill up the frickin' bottom row when it comes to bench players. Caden Wallace, he was a rookie this year. Layden Robinson, he was a rookie this year. Verdarian Lowe, Demontre Jacobs, I hope are not back on the team next year. Mike Onwenu, Nick Leverett, Layden Robinson, Cole Strange. We need some fresh legs. Although Daniel is a little bit older, I do think he could bring a little bit of that David Andrews-esque type of mentality to the team. So let me ask you guys this open-ended question here. Name a free agent you want the Patriots to sign. Doesn't have to be a guy that played with or for Mike Vrabel. Just go on ahead and let me know a free agent that you would like to sign in the comment section down below. We have 3 more free agent targets to get to in just a moment, but let me tell you about our sponsor, Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. If you guys want to join myself, producer Tex, everybody here at Chat Sports, and 10 million other active users every single day on this app, go on ahead and download the Prize Picks app today. All you have to do is just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you guys can win up to 1,000 times your money. That's right, up to 1,000 times your cash every single Tuesday. They do have great promotions like Taco Tuesday, which is a discounted projected stat for a player. And then every Friday is Flex Friday, win or your money back guaranteed up to $20. And we all know there is one more game to be played this season. We know what game we're talking about here, the big game. If you guys think that Patty Mahomes will have 1 passing yard in the big game, you win. Prize Pick has given you a free pick. I highly suggest taking this pick. And, I'm also going to throw in a nice little Saquon Barkley touchdown there. Why? It's his birthday on the big day, and I think he'll score on his birthday. So copy my Prize Picks or make your own. Just download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS. This will give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS. This will give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. I know not a lot of Patriots fans have a lot of faith in our current guard situation right now with Cole Strange returning. We haven't seen enough of him to really determine if he can be an asset moving forward. But what about Dylan Radunz, right? On the left side of the line with Mike Onwenu still on the right side. That's an offensive line I can actually get behind, because when you're looking at a guy like Dylan who has some familiarity with Mike Vrabel, he would probably benefit playing under a guy like Josh McDaniels, but he was drafted by Vrabel. And if there is anything that is the same with Vrabel now being in New England, he likes to invest in his players. And one thing that I do really like about Dylan is that he is a multifaceted offensive lineman. He can be internal or external, play the guard or the tackle position. Like I said, we went through several offensive line rotations last year that we could probably use a guy that can play either or. And he was graded the 58th best pass blocking guard by PFF this last season. So entering into free agent market, he shouldn't be too expensive for a guy like Mike Vrabel to possibly go out and get. If anything, just to add a little bit more depth here, could possibly even work his way up to a starting position. 6'6", 300 pounds. Oh yeah. That is the guy I want protecting my quarterback. But let's get a little bit off the offense here. Let's go to the defense. Kayvon Wallace. You probably haven't thought about this name and really thought, hey, Mike Vrabel. But he did actually play for Tennessee when Vrabel was the head coach last season. The only thing with Wallace is the bit of a team hopper here, right? He's been the member of 4 different NFL rosters in the last 4 seasons. Whether that's an internal thing, I'm not sure, but it does happen in the league as you do start to get a little bit older. But the only thing that I worry about with a guy like Wallace is adapting to the growing pains that are going to be happening in New England. I do think this will be a better season than last year, but in terms of adding a guy that has been around a lot of different establishments, it may be harder for him to grasp what New England is trying to do this upcoming year. But the reason why I do think adding a veteran presence to the safety depth chart, not as a starter, because I love Kyle Duggar and Jabril Peppers, but adding a little extra leadership possibly in that locker room could be a really good thing for New England as well. Because you also have to realize Kyle Duggar was injured for a lot of last season. And Jabril Peppers, we obviously missed because he was on the commissioner's exempt list. But then did you also know Kyle Duggar had surgery off season? Do you remember hearing about any surgery needed in the end of the season? No, they misdiagnosed him. They called it a freaking bone bruise. And he's like, it doesn't feel right. There was a detached ligament. He needed to get surgery. He was playing on this tweaked ankle for as long as he possibly could, so Kyle Duggar was hurt. Now we don't know what the rehab process is going to look like, so you need to provide a little bit of injury insurance with a veteran who knows how to come in and just fit in a new system. So, knowing that new information about Kyle Duggar, just go on ahead and give the veteran some love. Hit that like button for me if you guys haven't already. I mean, this guy was playing on a bone bruise for God knows how long. I'm sure it hurt like hell, and he played like hell. Good hell. All right, go on ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me. Last but not least, Elijah Molden, currently playing for the Los Angeles Chargers, but did spend some time in Tennessee with the one and only head coach, Mr. V. And something to know here about Elijah Molden, he's definitely had a bit of a rough time in the NFL, finding his feet, finding his identity since he was drafted by Mike Vrabel in 2021. But it's because the injuries have been a little bit more consistent than he would probably like to. When you look at overall his landscape in the NFL, he doesn't have a lot of territory. 48 games in 4 years is not fantastic. And what he's done in those games, hasn't really moved the needle for a lot of teams out there. But I do think in terms of adding a little bit more cornerback depth, this could be a good option for a very, very cheap price. When you look at him in his last couple of years, obviously a very dominant play stopper. A lot of great tackles there, 73, 75. He knows how to be that headhunter. Finding the passes, breaking them up. 3 interceptions is fantastic. So I do think he could still be a really good asset in the depth chart for a very, very cheap price, and having that experience with Mike Vrabel and with Terrell Williams could definitely help. So one more question I'll ask you guys here. Unfortunately, these aren't the sexiest free agents out there. I wish I could tell you just top 5 players that have played for Mike Vrabel and it'd be like a T. Higgins and we can go down the line. But these are just guys that know how this head coach works, and he could possibly network and bring them in to help the Patriots next season. If you guys want the Patriots to add more depth, go on ahead and hit that like button for me if you guys have not already. Patriots always need it. Injuries always happen. So if you haven't already, go on ahead, hit that sub button for me while you're at it. Like, subscribe, and comment down below, and you can make me very, very happy. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and go Patriots. We got 104 likes. We hit our goal of reaching over 100 likes while we were going through segment 2. Now, just to kind of go back here and look at some of these questions here that you guys had. A lot of things in here. James really doesn't like D-Hop, old, unmotivated. Cup, older and injured. Godwin, older and coming off an injury. And, well, choose your fighter. Yeah, TD, we wouldn't be getting Wallace as a starter. It would be more of like a depth position practice squad because Kyle Duggar was so injured this year. It would be more of an insurance, if you will. How many questions do we have, and do we have great questions? James wants to sign a center, move Strange back to guard or tackle. Oh, yeah, Chase Young would be a really good free agent target. Amazing. Amazing. All right. Then we have plenty of questions to go on ahead and get started here with our mailbag section. So, with 160 people watching, why don't we go on ahead and hop into our final segment on today's live, and that is the mailbag section. You guys ask the questions, I'll answer. Let's go on ahead and pop on ahead into it. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, comment, super chat, do whatever you feel need, and we'll be right back. We're going to be answering your questions here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. There are new rumors, more news coming out more than ever at this point in the offseason for the Patriots. Coaches are leaving. Coaches are getting hired. Free agents are starting to ramp up as there's one more game left in the 2025-2024 NFL season. So let's go on ahead and hop into today's show. If you guys haven't already, I love talking about Patriots football with you guys off and on YouTube. If you haven't followed me on X, go on ahead and do so at AR Barefoot. And once I figure out how to get the TikTok app back on my phone, I will be back and active on Boston Barefoot. I can still access it on my desktop, but I like to scroll, so we're working on that. But go on ahead, follow me on social media platforms. That way we can talk ball all the time. Question number 1 coming in from Chris Kiley. Will Pat sign another quarterback, or are we good with Joe Milton in that role? The number one thing that I loved, and I didn't love many things about that Patriots win against the Buffalo Bills in Week 18 because I wanted pick number 1, was Joe Milton. I absolutely love Joe Milton. I thought that he complemented Drake Maye's style of play very well to proceed as a backup. There's one thing I don't think we will do, and that's re-sign Jacoby Brissett. He was brought into New England to do one thing: lead, mentor, develop Drake Maye. And I honestly think he played longer than he should have in the regular season. So I do think that Joe Milton, also who was mentored and developed by Jacoby Brissett, is the perfect backup option for Drake Maye. However, there have been some recent rumors that possibly they want to bring in another veteran to help out Drake Maye, like a Joe Flacco. And because Joe Milton not only impressed myself, but impressed the NFL and what he could do in Week 18, there have been some teams that could possibly be interested in trading for Joe Milton because there are some quarterback-needy teams out there. I would hate to be them. Long live Drake Maye. But I do like Joe Milton as our backup. Anthony Hernandez coming in here. Should we focus on drafting Abdul and then trading back into the first for a wide receiver? Not so T or any big-name wide receivers are considering us this offseason. I do agree with the second half of this question. I do think that we are playing a very, very dangerous game in NFL free agency the same way we did last year, but there are a little bit more pros to coming to New England this year. But you just heard DK Metcalf, who's not a free agent, but there have been some trade rumors speculating around DK Metcalf, and he literally said, quote for quote, New England is not a desirable place to be. I don't know if other wide receivers feel that way, but I don't think T. Higgins is going to come to us this year, unfortunately. But there are two options here with the NFL draft about possibly getting a top wide receiver. You either trade down for more picks to bulk up your wide receivers in the draft. You could go for a smaller name in the free agent market if T. Higgins is not signed. But if you get Abdul Carter with pick number 4, I think that pick number 2 in the NFL draft for the Patriots needs to be an offensive tackle or a offensive lineman. So that means you probably wouldn't get a wide receiver until round 3 for the Patriots. So it may end up being a trade scenario, whether it's going to be in the draft or after, that the Patriots find their top target later this season. Another question from Nolan Herron. How do you expect the Patriots to approach this season's free agency? Swinging for the fences. I want Eliot Wolf to hand over this checkbook wide open. That's what I want. You have $130 million in free agency. You have the largest cap space, and you didn't do squiddly squat last offseason. You better be making offers to every big name out there. Let them decide. But you better have an offer on the table. I do not want to see a report that says the Patriots haven't contacted this player. No. You go for anybody and everybody. Trey Smith, Cam Robinson, T. Higgins, Chris Godwin. I don't care. Make it happen. Get that checkbook out and write some zeros. And that leads me to my first question here. Predict the first Patriots signing in free agency. Who do you think will be the first name that Patriots fans get a notification on their phone saying, damn, we just got that guy? Comment that guy down below. Hey, this is on the internet forever. If you guys are right, I'll give you a shout out when we make that signing. Let me go ahead and tell you guys about our sponsor on today's show. That is Game Time. If you guys are looking to get tickets to any sporting event, concert, comedy show, or the theater, then Game Time is the app for you. I use Game Time for every event that I am going to because I know 3 things for certain. I'm going to get the lowest price guaranteed. All right? I spend my Saturdays couponing now. So you know I love saving $1. I also know that I'm going to get all-in pricing at checkout. The total that you see at checkout is a total you will pay. No surprise fees, hidden, necessary. Number 3, you get to see your seat in the app before you buy. A nice little 180 panoramic view. Make sure that you guys know exactly where your view is going to be, where your seat is going to be, and you are pleased with your purchase. You guys can go check out the Boston Celtics, Boston Red Sox, Boston Bruins, New England Patriots right now. Go on ahead and download the Game Time app. Use promo code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first time buying tickets while terms apply. Again, download the Game Time app. Use promo code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? It is game time. Carlos coming in with question number 4. Do you think the Patriots become a playoff contending team with this coaching staff? Yes. Will it be this season? I don't think so. There was one comment that stuck with me from Vrabel's press conference, and that he is going to bring success to New England. But it may not be this year. It may not be next year. It may be the third year under Mike Vrabel. I think that this is a process. Yes, I would love to have a winning season. I think that we have the opportunities to make this roster a winning, capable team. But I do understand that if there is anything that last year showed us, is that the growing pains are far from done. I think this year will be another growing pain season, hopefully not as ugly as the last one, but I do think there will be success with this coaching staff moving forward. Max coming in here. Do you think Drake Maye will be fine under McDaniel and not turn out like Mac Jones? Like the Pro Bowler Mac Jones that Josh McDaniels did develop? That one? Yes, I do think that Drake Maye will thrive under Josh McDaniels, but it is a good question because you don't want another repeat of Mac Jones, but I think it's unfortunate that that is the comparison that New England now has, and it wasn't just like you went from a Tom Brady to a Drake Maye, because obviously that would have been a better transition. You went from a Tom Brady to a Mac Jones to a Drake Maye. So I think that Josh McDaniels, and keep in mind, for 11 seasons when he was the offensive coordinator, he was also the quarterback's coach for Tom Brady. McDaniels knows what to do with a strong arm, with a mobile presence, with a quick football IQ type of guy. I think that is different from Mac Jones. I do hope him success, but I do think Drake Maye and Josh McDaniels are going to be best friends moving forward. Coming in from Dizzy Trooper. Do you think the Patriots will let Hunter play both ways? I'm going to go with no. I don't think that really any team should, to be honest. I do think there are certain plays, which we have seen that, for numerous teams in the NFL, when they had these designed plays that bring in a cornerback and play him at wide receiver, or you see the punter like Tressway, taking out his arm and throwing a pass. So there should be certain plays that you could see Travis Hunter and some personnel on the offense, but I don't think it should be both ways. I think that's way too much, and this is not college. This is the NFL, guys. The talent is uncomparable to the NCAA. So I think that he has a bigger chance of getting hurt, and you don't want that, especially if he ends up being your first pick in the NFL draft. We saw that with Cole Strange. So I do not think you should play both ways. Do I think he has the capabilities? Obviously, he won the Heisman. Nolan coming in with another question. Who's your number one free agent target? T. Higgins. T. Higgins. Do I think we land T. Higgins? I don't know. I think they're going to offer him a fatty paycheck. But I could see T. Higgins wanting to go to a system that is familiar with Cincinnati. I could see T. Higgins wanting to go to a win-now system. I could see T. Higgins re-signing with the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know. But I am going to go with T. Higgins. I know all of you guys will as well. Devin Ramirez, who actually recently just tweeted at me, giving me a lot of love. I appreciate that, Devin. Thank you for listening and watching and supporting this channel. It means the world to me. His question is, what would someone like DK Metcalf or Cooper Kupp cost us? You're looking at upwards of a $20 million player pretty much, because they are still on a contract, so you do kind of have to pay the rest of their remaining salary. And also with the Seahawks, they do have the highest paid wide receivers in the NFL. So it would be a costly move for sure. Depends on what you would give back to get somebody like DK Metcalf. I think with Cooper Kupp, you're given a fourth. I think you would give a 2025 fourth-round pick because you're going to try to get all the last juice out of Matthew Stafford from the Rams. And then with DK Metcalf, I think you're giving up maybe a second and a third. Maybe a third this season and a second next season. But it would be a costly move. It really would. And I would personally rather try for an A.J. Brown before a DK Metcalf or a Cooper Kupp. Callie Lama coming in with the last question of the video. Speaking of offensive line, do you think having Doug Marrone on board as offensive line coach will help set things straight? I do. I think this would be a really good addition to the New England Patriots staff. I know right now they are actively hiring coaches for this personnel, but they're also losing a lot of coaches. Obviously, Brian Belichick and Steve Pellegrino, Mike Pellegrino recently just left. So I think that adding of a familiar name would be a really good step moving forward for the Patriots. And if there's anything the Patriots need help with, good Lord, it's the offensive line. So yes, I do think getting a veteran presence in here would be a good move. Final question. Want the Patriots to make the 2025 NFL playoffs? I know you guys do. I know you want to get back to playoff football in Foxborough. Go on ahead, hit that thumbs up button for me. Go on ahead and like this video. It does support us and help this channel so much. You know what else does? Hitting that sub button. Go on ahead, hit that sub button for me if you guys haven't already. And as always, go Patriots. So sorry if I did not get to your question. You know, we had so many questions in here. We honestly had way too much for that short of a video. Maybe one day I'll do a 30-minute video and we can get everybody's question in there. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We do have 161 people watching, 115 likes. We got through 3 great segments here on today's show. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I do really appreciate you guys for tuning in week out on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. We go live every single Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be live next Wednesday and the Wednesday after that, and the Wednesday after that. So if you haven't already, tell your friends, share the video, send this to your grandma, make her an account, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, I will see you guys next Wednesday. All you guys have to do in the meantime is subscribe.